my background is relevant a little bit to sort of the general question of what pluralism is or what it means. And I think there's a number of ways you can answer that question. But I grew up, my parents are Zen Buddhists. We grew up in a heavily Jewish town in upstate New York. So most of my friends were Jewish. Synagogues were all over the place.
Which town, by the
My
way? I come from
Bright,
Buffalo, so
Brighton, New York. So it's a suburb of Rochester. It's about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
40% Jewish. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and so I went to bat mitzvahs, all the normal things. And um, the but so in that context, I was a religious minority. But my uncle and aunt were members of the Church of Latter-day Saints. My grandmother was an evangelical born again Christian. And so I grew up just sort of recognizing that religious beliefs differed. And our family gatherings were not about who's right or who's wrong, right? It was about the fact that we cared about each other in a community. I certainly didn't go to my Jewish friends' houses and have religious debates with them, right? We accepted our differences, and even though they were differences about the most important things, right? So
Hmm.
I'm not rejecting the importance of religion, but to a certain degree, there's actually a really important way in which you can honor the importance of religion by giving it the sort of respect that it deserves and actually not doing the kind of politicization and sort of arguing that people do about it. But anyway, all this is to say, one of the things that I learned in that environment was that sort of there was this baseline of pluralism where the expectation wasn't that you argue about it, it wasn't that you ignore it, it was that you sort of live in this space. And I would go to the Mormon church and take communion and with my cousins and sing in the choir. And then I would go to the Zen center with my parents. And there was no tension there because it was simply just the way that I lived. And so I don't want this to sound utopian because I don't think it has to be utopian. But I think there is a way that we can recognize that differences do lead to conflicts. There certainly have been conflicts in my family, particularly my grandmother had a very hard time coming from an evangelical perspective. Um, but I think you can navigate those conflicts if you focus on the importance of the relationship in front of you. And this is, again, sort of getting back to this connection to couples therapy, right? If this relationship is important to you to maintain, if it's important for you to be in community with this person or this group of people, then you have to decide what you can let go,